So some trauma responses look very good on a performance review. Overworking, perfectionism, always saying yes. Being the one everyone can count on from the outside, those traits often get rewarded. From the inside, they can be exhausting. So today I want to talk about why some patterns people call personality are actually trauma responses in a very respectable outfit. I'm Dr. Nathalie Caldera. I'm a clinical psychologist, and my practice focuses on anxiety and trauma treatment for women in leadership, early career professionals, and college and graduate students. And one thing I see all the time is this. People come in describing themselves as hardworking, perfectionistic, or I have high standards, overgenerous, always the reliable one. And those traits may be real. But clinically, I'm often asking a different question. What is driving these traits? Some of the most common high-functioning trauma patterns I see are overworking, perfectionism, chronic over-agreeing, being overly accommodating, saying yes before you've even checked whether you actually have the time, energy, or desire. And the tricky part is that people are often proud of these things because the world does reward them. You get called reliable, you get called committed, you get called easy to work with. And to be fair, maybe you are all of those things. But if these patterns are being driven by fear of disappearing, fear of conflict, fear of criticism, fear of being seen as difficult, then we are no longer just talking about personality. We are talking about survival. Now, a lot of people think trauma should look messy. They expect obvious dysfunction, but trauma can also look very polished, very competent, very productive, I've got it handled. Sometimes the body learned very early that overperforming was safer than having needs, that being useful was safer than being visible, that saying yes was safer than saying, actually, I can't. Actually, that doesn't work for me. Actually, I need a break. And that coping style may have worked beautifully at one point, but later it often becomes expensive. The person looks successful on paper and privately feels exhausted, resentful, unable to rest, guilty when they slow down. Now, a simple place to start is this: how to start noticing the difference. Ask yourself, am I doing this from values or from fear? For example, I care about doing good work is different from, if I don't do this perfectly, something bad will happen. I like being helpful is different from, I feel deeply unsafe disappointing people. The pattern may look similar from the outside, but the internal experience is very different. And that really matters because the goal is not to make you less capable. The goal is to let you be capable without needing to abandon yourself to get there. If this sounds uncomfortably familiar, you are not alone and you are not broken. Sometimes the patterns people admire most are also the ones costing you the most. If you'd like support, understanding what your body's survival system learned and how to start updating those patterns, you can find information about working with my team and I, booking a complimentary consultation with a licensed therapist in the description below. And if this video helped, feel free to share it with the person in your life who says, I'm fine, while answering emails at midnight.